Every year, the ground remembers. It remembers the passage of 1,000,000 feet, the weight of 1,000,000 bodies driven by a single ancient command. Dust, finer than sand, rises to hang in the golden light, a living testament to this colossal movement. Each particle is a record of a footstep, a breath, a life lived on the move. This is a history written not in ink, but in thirst and hunger. A story told by the distant promise of rain and by the oldest, most powerful impulse in nature, to keep going. These are the trails of survival, etched into the very skin of the continent, a map of instinct carved by time itself. But these migrations are not a single monolithic event. They are a complex mosaic of movement, a network of ancient roads worn into the earth by countless generations of hooves and feet. Some are grand processions, vast rivers of life that stretch for hundreds of kilometers across the open plains, a tide of flesh and bone so immense it is visible even from space. These are the world's great parades. Others are whispered detours, narrow secret trails that only a few animals know, a hidden language of the landscape, passed from mother to child like a precious inheritance. In the coming hour, we will follow both the thundering herds and the silent few, exploring the grand strategies and the secret tactics that mean the difference between life and death on the move. Nowhere is the drama of the Great Parade more visceral than at the river's edge. For the wildebeest and zebra, the water is both a promise and a peril. On the far bank, fresh grazing awaits, the fuel needed to continue their 1,000-kilometer odyssey. But the river itself is a formidable barrier, a churning brown torrent. The herd masses, a sea of indecision and nervous energy. The air crackles with tension, a chorus of low grunts and anxious calls. They approach, they retreat, in a series of false starts that can last for hours, even days. Individuals, driven by their own thirst and fear, test the precipice. The leaders, the seasoned veterans, must read the water. They scan the currents, searching for the safest entry point, a place where the banks are not too steep, the flow not too treacherous. It is a decision by consensus, a complex and mysterious process where thousands of minds seem to act as one. The pressure from behind builds, a relentless wave of bodies pushing forward. Finally, a single brave individual or a small committed group makes the plunge, and with that, the dam of hesitation breaks. The crossing begins. It is an explosion of controlled chaos. The water churns, a maelstrom of splashing hooves and desperate, powerful swimming. The sound is deafening. The young are the most vulnerable. Calves, sometimes only weeks old, struggle to keep their heads above the churning surface, their panicked calls lost in the din. Mothers flank them, nudging them forward, shielding them with their own bodies, their eyes wide with a primal fear that transcends species. For this is not just a river, it is a hunting ground. Lurking just beneath the surface, ancient predators lie in wait. The Nile crocodiles. They are as much a part of this ecosystem as the grass and the rain. They have been waiting for this moment, conserving their energy for this annual feast. They are masters of the ambush. A flicker of movement, a sudden terrifying eruption of water and teeth. They do not need to hunt the strong. They target the stragglers, the young, the exhausted, dragging them below in a silent, deadly struggle. Their presence adds a terrifying urgency to the crossing. For the herd, there is no turning back. The only way is forward, through the gauntlet, up the steep, muddy banks on the other side. For every one that falls, hundreds more will make it, their hooves finding purchase on the far shore, their bodies trembling with adrenaline and exhaustion. They have conquered the river. But the journey is far from over. But survival on the savannah is not always a story of brute force and epic scale. Away from the thundering herds, quieter, more subtle journeys are underway. These are the secret short routes, the migrations of memory and intellect. The largest land animal on Earth, the elephant, relies not on the crowd, but on the wisdom of its elders. The matriarch, a living library of generations of knowledge, leads her family along invisible pathways. She remembers the location of every seasonal well, every hidden spring, even those she hasn't visited in a decade. This ancestral map, held within her mind, is passed down not through genetics, but through teaching. Young elephants watch, learn, and remember, ensuring the knowledge survives the passage of time. In times of drought, this shared intelligence is the key to her family's survival. They follow her in single file, their silent padded footfalls tracing routes that are ancient beyond measure. Elsewhere, smaller, more vulnerable creatures use the landscape itself as a tool. A herd of impala, instead of crossing a wide, exposed plain, will follow the contour of a ridge. This natural windbreak offers cover from the searching eyes of predators and shields them from the desiccating winds, conserving precious energy and water. They are reading the topography, turning a potential obstacle into a life-saving corridor. Even the smallest travelers have their secrets. Termites, deep underground, construct vast networks of tunnels, migrating vertically in response to temperature and moisture, their collective movement aerating the soil for the entire ecosystem. And the sky has its own hidden pathways. Migratory birds, from eagles to storks, harness the power of thermals, rising columns of warm air to gain altitude without flapping their wings. They soar for hours, riding these invisible elevators, covering vast distances with remarkable efficiency. These are not random wanderings, they are calculated journeys along aerial highways, a testament to an intelligence that understands the physics of the air itself. These are the migrations of the mind, proving that on the savannah, knowledge is as vital as strength. Every trail, whether a grand highway or a secret path, is shaped by the constant presence of danger. The predators of the savannah are not simply random agents of chaos. They are the sculptors of the migration. Their very existence creates a landscape of fear, influencing the routes, the timing, and the behavior of the herds even when they are not seen. Lions, the apex hunters of the plains, do not waste energy in futile open-field chases. They are strategists. They patrol the edges of the migration, the natural choke points, the riverbanks and the dense thickets where cover gives them an advantage. Their presence acts like a shepherd's dog, keeping the herds tightly packed and moving, preventing them from lingering too long in any one area. The scent of a lion is enough to divert a column of thousands. The spotted hyena clans, with their incredible stamina, shadow the great columns of wildebeest. They are the ultimate opportunists, testing the herd constantly, their unnerving calls echoing through the night. They weed out the weak, the sick, and the unwary. Their relentless pressure ensures that only the fittest survive the journey to pass on their genes. This grim calculus is the engine of natural selection, brutal but brutally effective. The relationship between predator and prey is an intricate dance of life and death that maintains the health of the entire ecosystem. By culling the vulnerable, predators prevent the spread of disease and ensure that the grazing lands are not overexploited by a population that has grown too large. It is a brutal yet essential balance. After the explosive violence of a hunt, a profound stillness often returns to the plains. The herd, though diminished, moves on, the survivors stronger for the trial. The predators, their hunger sated, rest. The savannah breathes, its ancient cycle of peril and renewal complete for another day. For millennia, this cycle has been governed by the rhythm of the seasons and the deep instinctual knowledge of the animals. But now, new, unpredictable forces are rewriting the rules. The climate is changing. The rains, the very trigger for these great movements, are becoming more erratic. Storms that once arrived with clockwork precision now come late, or not at all, leaving the herds stranded in depleted lands. Ancient routes that once led to lush pastures now lead to dust, a betrayal of instinct. And a new kind of barrier is slicing across the landscape, one that no animal can easily overcome. Fences, roads, and human settlements are fragmenting the savanna, severing the vital corridors that have connected grazing lands for eons. These man-made lines on the map create impassable obstacles, trapping wildlife in ever-shrinking pockets of land. The consequences are dire. Genetic isolation weakens populations, and the inability to reach food and water during droughts can lead to mass starvation. The great mosaic of migration is being shattered. Yet, even in the face of these unprecedented challenges, there is hope. A growing understanding of these ancient pathways is leading to new solutions. Wildlife corridors, strips of protected land that bridge the gaps between habitats, are being created, stitching the fragmented landscape back together. In Kenya, the first ever elephant underpass allows herds to safely cross a busy highway, reconnecting a vital migration route. In Botswana, fences are being realigned to accommodate the movement of zebra. It is a recognition that the health of our planet is tied to the freedom of these animals to move. The future of the savanna depends on our ability to share the landscape, to mend the broken pathways, and to honor the oldest impulse in nature. The impulse to keep going towards a shared tomorrow.